Hi and welcome to wrist stabilization training. In between the exercises I'm going to read something about stents and try to learn it, and participating in the exercises is at your own risk, and stents have to do with the blood system and medical procedures. So I'm going to talk for most part of the video about that. On to the first exercise. We're having both arms at the side, the hands formed to fists. Now we're bringing these fists downwards and again upwards. And if you feel at any time pain in the wrists, then stop immediately. So we're going upwards and down. And we always are going only as far as we can go with a little bit of effort. So we don't use much force or great effort to go far in one direction, just going as far as we can go. Then we're turning around, going into the other direction. This is the last time. And that was the spotlight, and in a moment the flashlight. Now to the stents. Stents are used in medicine. So in medicine and medical things, there are stents used. Stents are usually made of a metallic alloy or a polymer. So this thing, which is used in medicine, is most of the times made of a metallic alloy or polymer. A polymer is similar to plastic. I would describe it, but I don't know much about it. And a metallic alloy means something made of different types of metal. So it's used in medicine. And one more to understand it a bit better, a stent can be inserted into a blood vessel to keep it open. So this stent can come into a blood vessel. Blood vessels are something like this. It comes in and then it stays open. So like something which opens it, like a pipeline through it. It's like a scaffold to open the blood vessel, and that's another name, scaffold. And to the next exercise, now to the flashlight. So we're doing again both fists next to us, and now we're turning them in and out. Doing it slowly and concentrated. So we're going to the outside, as far as we can go to the outside, with a little bit of effort only. And as soon as we've reached that point, we're turning slowly around and we're going into the other direction. And now for the last time, to the inside and slowly back to the outside. So stents are used in medicine to keep a blood vessel open, that it don't occludes, that it is not blocked or closes, that it is opened through the metallic alloy or polymer piece of stent. The word used for the process of placing a stent is stenting. So if someone puts a stent into a blood vessel to keep it open, then the process is called stenting. So someone could talk of stenting. The next exercise, it is the magician. Now we're having again both hands next to us, but now the flat hands. These flat hands turn to the ground. Now we're turning these hands, formed to flat hands, to the inside and to the outside. And again, slowly and concentrated, as far as you can go, with a little bit of effort. As soon as you've reached the point which you could reach with a little bit of effort, turning slowly around and going into the other direction. And now we're ready for last time. So to the inside, back to the outside. So stenting is the process of placing a stent in a blood vessel. And a stent is something made of different types of metal or polymer to keep an artery from occluding, that it is opened and blood can flow through it. There are different types of stents, for example, coronary stents for the coronary arteries of the heart, for example by coronary heart disease, which is Atheromatous plaque occludes the coronary arteries. So the coronary arteries are the heart. They come from the aortic valve. One goes to the right side, right coronary artery to the right side and the left coronary artery to the left side, and they are giving the blood to the myocardium, the big muscle which makes the heart beat. So the coronary arteries are delivering blood to the big muscle which makes the heart pump. And they can occlude by coronary artery disease through the accumulation of Atheromatous plaque. So they can occlude and they can be blocked. And there can be a stent can be placed in them, so that they are not occluded, these coronary arteries, these two, but they branch also, these two, and they don't occlude because the stent keeps them open and the blood is flowing to the myocardium, and the myocardium gets blood and oxygen, all it needs to pump and make the contracting movement. Next exercise, it is the pancake flipper. Again, both hands flat next to us. Now we're turning them up and down. Going slowly up as far as we can bring them up, and again down. And slowly down, and again slowly up, and for last time, slowly down and slowly up. So coronary stents can be placed in the coronary arteries. We're going the right coronary artery and left coronary artery down the heart and delivering blood to the myocardium, which is the big muscle in the wall of the heart, which makes the heart, when it contracts, beat. So the myocardium contracts, and through that the blood in the heart is pushed into the lungs or to the body where it should go. To the lungs if it should get oxygen, or into the aorta if it should deliver the blood to the body. Coronary stents here, and then we have the esophageal stents for the esophagus by esophageal cancer. The esophagus is here delivering food from the mouth to the stomach, and for example by esophageal cancer, there esophageal stent could be placed through stenting in the esophageal to keep it up. Stents are named after Charles Stent, who made advances in prosthetic dentures. He introduced Gutta-Percha, a latex from the Gutta-Percha tree, to make dentures. So they are named, probably it's not completely clear, after Charles Stent. Charles Stent lived 1807-1885, and he worked on improving dentures for teeth, and with the material Gutta-Percha, from a latex from Gutta-Percha tree. It didn't work properly, it's disordered when he put them out, and it also shrunk. But he added, this is the next part here, by adding Stearine and Talcum, he tried to improve it. By Stearine and Talcum. Stearine and Talcum. So he added to this Gutta-Percha Stearine and Talcum and so on, and he worked on making dentures, and was probably named after him, the Stents. Next exercise, it is the T-Rex in the morning. So both hands out. Now we're bringing the flat hands down. And again up. And down. And up. And again up. And down slowly. And now for last time. Down. And again up. So stents, which are placed for stenting, are named after Charles Stent, who worked on dentures for teeth and the whole jaw. And he worked on Gutta-Percha from the Gutta-Percha tree, a latex. It didn't work properly. He added Stearine and Talcum and so on, and he worked on making dentures. He made great advances in the field, and it's named after him. He lived 1807-1885, so it is a bit important, because the first stent was used in 1986 by Jacques Puel and Ulrich Sigwart to prevent the blood vessel from closing. So he died in 1885, and 101 years later the first stent was used by Jacques Puel and Ulrich Sigwart in 1986 in Toulouse, in France. And the next exercise, it is now the T-Rex in the gym. If you don't have a tennis ball, do it without one, just with a fist. I'm holding the tennis ball like this with 4 whole fingers. And now I'm pressing. And release again. Only press with moderate force. Don't give too much. And we are pressing again, moderate force. And we release. And we are pressing. Now we are switching. And we are pressing. And we release. And again, pressing. And release. And the last time, yeah, pressing. And release. In 1987, so 1 year after Jacques Puel and Ulrich Sigwart, Richard Jacques and his co-workers developed the first by the Food and Drug Administration of the USA approved stent. So in 1987, the first stent was approved by the FDA in the United States, the Food and Drug Administration of the United States. And in 2003, the drug-eluting stent was introduced to reduce restenosis. And by restenosis, the scar tissue grows within the stent, which starts to limit the blood flow again. So stenosis is, I assume, the first time that it includes stenosis is the inclusion of blood vessels through. I don't know what is all stenosis there. So, and here's restenosis happening. So it's re-stenosis. It happens again. Restenosis. This scar tissue is forming within the stent and closes it again. And there are these drug-eluting stent. Drug-eluting stent in 2003 introduced, which should limit this from happening, this restenosis. The next exercise, it is the quadrangular castle architect. So both hands are fists out, we're turning these fists toward each other. And now we're turning them up and to the outside. Down and up and let's do the outside. Now up and to the inside. It was a quadrangular castle architect. And to the last point, research for bioresorbable stents is ongoing. One of these bioresorbable stents, which can be dissolved and absorbed by the human body, was by the FDA of US in 2016 approved. So bioresorbable means that it can be dissolved and absorbed by the human body. Bioresorbable. Bioresorbable. It can be dissolved and absorbed by the human body. And the first of these stents made of material which is bioresorbable by the human body was approved by the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration of the United States, in 2016. The last exercise. The grab anxious to a fever, lay arm comfortably at the side, hand form to a fist, and returning with fist down. And we're pressing carefully with a little force against the index finger. And now we're pulling a bit carefully from the outside. And from the top. And now from the bottom against the third metatarsal bone. And same on the finger. So the fist a little bit down and pressing a bit from the outside. From the inside. Now we're pulling a bit from the outside. And we're pressing a bit against the metatarsal bone of the third finger. And now we're pressing against the third finger. And we've made our way to the last exercise. A bit relaxation for the extensor digitorum muscle. It lies here, so we're going with moderate force over the middle part of the lower arm. And the last time. And now the other side. Let's have a little bend in the elbow. Then go next to the brachioradialis and go down. So here's the brachioradialis. Go here with the fingers in, and then over the middle part of the lower. That was for stabilisation training. So stents are used for a process called stenting in blood vessels to keep them open. So the blood vessel could have stenosis, it could close stenosis, and now the stent is placed for stenting, and then it keeps open. At least that is the idea. And that's, for example, by coronary artery disease, when the coronary arteries of the heart occlude, have stenosis where they don't deliver blood anymore, and the myocardium doesn't get enough blood. Or in the esophagus, by esophageal cancer. It's named after Charles Stent, 1885, and he improved dentures through Gutta-Percha, from the Gutta-Percha tree, and he added Stearine and Talcum. And in 1986, Jacques, Puel and Ulrich Sigwart used it for the first time a stent. And in 1987, the first one was approved by the FDA. And in 2003, the first drug-eluting stent to prevent restenosis, so that it doesn't get, so scar tissue does not grow inside of a stent and restenosis it again. And in 2016, the first bioresorbable stent was approved by the FDA in the United States of America. I thank you very much, and until next time.